Sigoli Nadioliwas, Skanagoga, Skanago. And I just said in Oneida, greetings, what is the news? Are you with peace? I am with peace. It is me, Dr. Reed, giving you what you need, aka Laguadio Oneida, for he is a good man. And I just want to say I am floored. I am so grateful for each and every one of y'all who have turned in your infographics so far. I think we're only missing about 3 so far, but everyone who's turned them in, brilliant. I'm seriously brought to tears just learning from each and every one of you, whether it's about music or about food or representation or your own experience or culture, these history, culture, contemporary issues, whether you're making a matrices, talking about all these things, or just one of these things. I was truly blown away by you all as the educators, as the co-collaborators. I'm not going to lie, sometimes it feels like I can just be talking to a black mirror here and saying, we're doing this asynchronous class, but it's letting us know, wow, we really are a class, we really are a community. Even though we're doing this at different times, we're still putting our minds together. And as we say in Oneida, let's put our minds together, so be it in our minds, where we can use technology to be at different times, different places, but all being together, all here with our thoughts and our minds. So grateful for each and every one of you to be able to learn from each other as we learn and we stand on the shoulders of giants. And I always say, I don't pretend to have all the answers. I don't pretend to know everything, but I do know that when we put our minds together, we can accomplish a great deal. And truth has no fear from investigation. Grateful for each and every one of you as we engage in this positive ethnocentrism, being rooted in who we are as human beings, engaging in mutual reciprocity, viewing ourselves no better or no worse than anyone else. So really grateful for each and every one of you. Phenomenal job. Make sure you have your infographic in. There's a couple people who haven't done a few missing kind of weeks. So make sure you get all your weeks caught up, or if you have a midterm you want to turn in, different things, these things are your grade. So do what you do, people. If you have any questions, do ask me, as I'm here on your side for you to be successful. I want you to be successful in this class and in life. I just want to go through our playlist here. So if you ever go on YouTube, you type in ethnic experience in the US, you can pull up our playlist, 543 videos. So some of the things that we didn't get a chance to talk too much about, we believe we talked about this video right here, a positive one, an important one in terms of Native reclamation of still being here. Who protects the people from the police when we're trying to do protests and protect the planet and protect people and planet. This idea that the Haudenosaunee, where our form of governance comes from, you can look at House Concurrent Resolution 331, put forth in 1988, is recognizing that the United States form of government and federalism comes from the Haudenosaunee form of government. So some different people here, some important people as well. I said Kalasha, who is really highly influential in advocating for Native American people to have citizenship in 1924. Just some other leaders and some people right here as we're going over some things. We talked about food some as well, and also talked about the impact of skateboarding as well too, and how that can be a tool for healing for Native people. I just saw recently that skateboarding is a medicine, and our words are medicine, music is a medicine. Either can be good medicine or bad medicine. So always be kind with your words and your how you treat others with your actions as well too. Looking at missing and murdered Indigenous women, a very important issue as well too. The Indian Child Welfare Act, another important issue, important for Native children to be able to go with other Native families to be able to retain their culture and in terms of their mental well-being and their identity as well. Looking as well too, this further about the missing and murdered Indigenous women, missing and murdered Indigenous girls, missing and murdered Indigenous peoples, MMIP, you might see that, or MMI2S. For Two-Spirit, this is a term that came up in the 1990s for recognizing that for many different Indigenous peoples, this idea of the gender binary of just this either or, that came from colonization. And it's documented that there's over 200 different tribes or more that have more than 2 words for the idea of gender. So this idea of being able to have holding multiple spirits, multiple gender identities at once, and seeing this as a valuable thing, and being able to be able to hold those things simultaneously. Also looking at here in the wake of 9/11, how we have treated our Muslim Americans in this country and what it means for everyone, that there is no equality until everyone is treated equal. There's no equity until there's equity for everyone, that there is no justice until there's justice for all in terms of how we treat people, until how we connect and how we see one another, and we humanize one another as well too. And we have some more content on here as well too. So I would definitely encourage you all to check out the video. A lot more educational opportunities here for you to continue learning, whether it's about Native issues. We're looking at the influence of Native video games as well too, another positive one as well. But certainly encourage you to check this out. A last one here we're talking about is Leonard Peltier, who's been a political prisoner since 1977 for a crime which he did not commit. And this has been documented at an incident at Oglala as a documentary about this as well too. But he's considered to be one of the longest longest standing political prisoners in this country and still to this day, a member of the American Indian movement, who there was a shootout at the Pine Ridge Reservation in the 1970s, and 2 federal agents died, but also a young teenager from the American Indian movement died as well too. And 2 people who were a part of the case were they were found that from self-defense that they were not guilty, but Leonard Peltier has still been sitting in prison for a crime which he did not commit. He is not guilty of killing these agents, yet he still sits in prison because of this. So as we acknowledge, educate, and honor at any given moment, the President of the United States, if you're watching this, Joe Biden, President Biden, whoever the president is at the time, if this doesn't happen, the idea that you can sign a piece of paper and have clemency, you could pardon Leonard Peltier today and right this injustice for Native peoples. This is one person, but again, there's no justice until there's justice for all. And Leonard Peltier, as he sits in prison, and that's like all of us as a part of us sitting in prison until Leonard is free. So some final ideas, definitely encourage you to revisit our video, as I know many of you have. You can tell through your infographics and your midterms, and I'm sure what we'll be seeing in your finals and in final reflection papers as well too, or if you do the cover letter. But just seeing you all revisit those videos as tools for learning is just really empowering and really exciting to see you all take back that education and reclaim our history and who has helped make this country who it is, and many of these different ethnic groups who've helped contributed to our country of what it is today. And how do we create a more just and equitable and better society, whether you're Native American, African American, Latina American, Asian American, European American. How do we engage in this mutual reciprocity, not viewing ourselves any better, any worse than anyone else, but engaging this mutual reciprocity of respect, caring, and love. So again, be ready to go for that final exam. And you have to make sure you have that in. It's going to be a 2-minute oral presentation on up to 3 concepts. It can be 1 concept, can be 2, can be 3. It can be something that is completely new. You can talk about the same topics that you've talked about before, but it has to be new information. So you cannot give the same presentation twice. It has to be something you're either expanding upon, or you can talk about something new entirely. You can be talking about ethnic groups. You can talk about a person. You can talk about an event. You can talk about a law. You can talk about a Supreme Court case. There's a number of different things you could talk about, whether it's about contributions with food or music, a number of things you all have been doing phenomenal in the infographics. So similar idea, you're just going to do an oral presentation. When people ask you about what are you learning in this class, well, you have a 2-minute elevator pitch to share with people, something that you have been really drawn to, whether it's something that relates to your major, relates to your possible career, or maybe it's something that you're just interested in and you're passionate about it. And if you're passionate about it, I'm guessing it's going to make us want to be passionate about it as well too. So make sure to get that turned in before December 12th. We are so close, people. Don't break down before the breakthrough. We are right here at the final lap, ready to go here, people. You can do it. You got this. I believe in you. And then either the final reflection paper or the cover letter. So the final reflection paper is just talking about your own personal experience in this United States, whatever you be from your background and how you got here. If you don't know that privilege of any of your family history, that benefit, you can try to just telling your own experience, your own observed and lived experience as well too. But you can try to reach back as far as you can in terms of that story. And I know this is a good resource and tool that other people want to share with some other family members or friends as well too, which is, I love to hear that when you're sharing and engaging in that. That's fantastic. And this cover letter is another option as well too. And again, it can be about any job you want. The idea is that we are the leaders of tomorrow, that we are these change makers, the dreamers of dreams, that whatever you're doing, whatever sector of work, whether it's a public sector for the government, private sector, your non-governmental organizations, nonprofit organization, whatever you're doing, how are we going to help create that more better, just, equitable world as we reconstruct and create a better and more just and equitable society? So it can be this I-U-we format, the first paragraph talking about yourself and your expertise, the second about the organization or the job specifically, showing you did your homework, that you want to apply for this one specifically. And the third is how you two can work good together, this we of why this is going to be mutually beneficial for you to be in this role. And I've had a lot of students doing this. They've done this assignment and they've actually gone on after class to just apply for that job in real life. And some of them have got that job as well too. So I love to hear that. That's the point of education, is to better yourself personally and professionally. So I love to hear that as well too. Excited to help you, excited for any feedback I can give you. And with that, I wanted to finish on this sentimental note as I pull the heartstrings here a little bit. And this one is it's from the graphic novel Vision Quest, and it's an excerpt here, and it is talking from Maya Lopez, and she is featured in the show Hawkeye as well too for Disney Plus, and she's now going to have her own show called Echo as well. But in this graphic novel, and it's a phenomenal one as well too, it's taught by this artist here, David Mack, written and illustrated by this Cherokee artist. It's called Vision Quest Echo, and it's a powerful story. And let me just share an excerpt from it right here. Later on, when I realize there is this thing called sound, I will ask my father all kinds of questions like, what does laughter sound like? What sound does grass make? When I hear that rain makes a sound, I will ask, what sound do the clouds make? Does the sunshine make a noise? What does the rainbow sound like? When I ask him these things, it makes him laugh and cry at the same time. And then I ask what that sounds like. And it finishes here saying, pass on my stories through my own medium like the comic book artist so that you can understand, even if you don't hear like me, even if you don't know what sounds clouds make, you could feel my stories. So it is with that, I just want to say, Yawanko, Ganalunkwa, Nugiwa means thank you. I love you. Until next time in Oneida, it's been an honor to learn from each and every one of you this semester. Looking forward to your final exam and your final papers, the reflection papers. Do reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm on your team. I want you to be successful in this and whatever comes after. So wishing all the best for you. Invitation, not an obligation, as we give thanks to this practice of yoga as it comes from India and these different practices regionally and in Buddhism and Hinduism. And it's also just as us as human beings, recognizing the physiological importance of breathing as well too, and that benefit for our health, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. I want you all to sit up nice and tall, taking the deepest breath of love you've had all day, breathing from your stomach, breathing like you love yourself. Breathe in some love. Exhale some love. You are love. You are worthy of love. Again, phenomenal semester. Another one, highly recommend this book, The Life of Frederick Douglass. Just finished this one. Definitely a must read. Many other must reads out there. Look forward to learning from each and every one of you. This is just the beginning. Let us all continue to be lifelong learners as we engage in this mutual reciprocity of respect and sharing. Love you very much. Take care, everybody. All the best.